Commander Alicia Washington checked her watch again and sighed. 1 hour and 53 minutes. That was how long she had been sitting in the cold waiting area of the Galactic Credit Union on Europa Station. The hard plastic chair made her back hurt, but she kept her posture straight and face calm. As the lead money person for Earth's space program, she was used to being treated with respect. But not here, it seemed. The bank mainly served aliens, not humans. Most humans did their banking elsewhere, but the Galactic Credit Union had the best rates in the solar system. Earth needed a big loan to build new ships that would take people to distant stars. So here she was, waiting. Manager Vexler, a tall alien with blue skin and small moving parts on his face, had barely looked at her when she arrived. He had mumbled something about system problems and told her to wait. Then he went back to his office. Since then, Alicia had watched him take 3 other clients. None of them human, and all of them had arrived after her. The truth was clear to Alicia. Despite her neat uniform with its gold buttons and Earth symbols, she was being made to wait because she was human, a black human woman. The blue-skinned aliens from Proxima had strange ideas about humans with dark skin. There had been a trade fight many years ago, and some of them still held on to old anger. Most had moved past such silly thinking, but clearly not everyone. Alicia looked around the bank. The lights were too bright, making the metal walls shine in a way that hurt her eyes. Everything was clean and cold. No plants, no art, nothing soft or warm, just like Vexler's attitude. A small floating robot came near her chair. "More drink?" it asked in a high voice, showing her a cup of watery tea. "No, thank you," Alicia said firmly. "But please tell Manager Vexler that I have been waiting almost 2 hours for our meeting that was set up weeks ago." The robot's lights blinked in what seemed like an apology. "Manager Vexler is busy with important clients. He asks for you to wait longer." Important clients. Not her, of course. Alicia held her computer pad tighter. On it was Earth's plan for the loan, charts and numbers that showed how Earth would pay back the money with interest. It was a good deal for the bank. Any smart banker would see that. She could leave. There were other banks in the galaxy, but none with the reach and low rates of the Galactic Credit Union. Earth needed this loan to build ships that could take people beyond the solar system. Without these ships, humans would be stuck in their little corner of space while other beings spread among the stars. So she waited. Her dark brown eyes stayed fixed ahead, her back straight. She would not show how angry she felt. She would wait with pride, knowing that they had to see her eventually. The future of human space travel might depend on what happened today. Through the large window, she could see the gas giant Jupiter hanging in space, huge and orange with swirling storms. Europa Station orbited the massive planet, a tiny human outpost in the vastness of space. The sight reminded her of why she did this job. Humans were small in the universe, but they had big dreams. A group of bank workers walked by, giving her curious looks. She heard one of them whisper something about Earth people and always in a rush. Alicia kept her face neutral. Let them think what they wanted. She knew the truth. She had been patient beyond reason. Her computer pad buzzed. It was a message from her boss, Admiral Rivera. "Status update?" it read. Alicia typed back, "Still waiting to see bank manager. Will update when meeting starts." She did not mention how long she had been waiting. Admiral Rivera would be angry, might even call the bank himself. That would only make things worse. Humans had to be careful in places like this, where they were, not the ones in power. One wrong move could ruin the loan chances. The bank's front door opened with a soft whoosh. 3 figures walked in, 2 blue-skinned aliens and, to Alicia's surprise, an older human man with dark brown skin. They wore fancy clothes with the bank's symbol on them. The effect was instant. Manager Vexler burst from his office so fast, he almost tripped. The moving parts on his face wiggled with excitement. "Board Director Zukra, what a surprise and honor." Vexler bowed low, all his earlier coldness gone. "And Director Patel, and Director Gregory?" The last name was said with poorly hidden surprise. The human man, wearing a dark blue suit with the bank's gold symbol, nodded calmly. "Manager Vexler, We are checking bank branches near Jupiter this month. Surprise visits help us see how things really run. Director Gregory looked around the waiting area and noticed Alicia. His eyes narrowed slightly when he saw her uniform with its commander stripes. "Who is this waiting client?" he asked, in a voice that expected a quick answer. Vexilor's blue skin turned a lighter shade. "Just a regular meeting, Director." "Nothing. Urgent. I am Commander Alicia Washington, United Earth Fleet." Alicia stood up, her back straight and shoulders square. "I have been waiting 1 hour and 53 minutes for my scheduled meeting about loans for Earth's deep space ships." The two alien directors looked at each other with surprise, but it was Gregory who spoke, his voice calm, but with a hard edge to it. 1 hour and 53 minutes? For a fleet commander talking about Earth colony ships? He turned to Vexilor. "Explain." Vexilor's face parts drooped. "Well, there were system problems and then priority clients and—" "Perhaps," Director Gregory cut him off. "We should all go to your office now to hear Commander Washington's loan request." Alicia gathered her things, keeping her face professional, despite feeling pleased at Vexilor's discomfort. As they walked toward the office, she caught Director Gregory's eye. He gave her a small nod, as if to say, "I understand what happened here." For the first time since she arrived, Alicia felt hopeful. Maybe this meeting would go well after all, and maybe, just maybe, the bank would learn something about treating all clients with respect, no matter what they looked like or where they came from. As the office door closed behind them, Alicia straightened her uniform and prepared to present Earth's plan. The future of human space travel was at stake. She would not waste this chance. Vexilor's office was large and cold. The walls were made of shiny metal that reflected the bright lights. There were no pictures, no plants, nothing to make the room feel warm. Just a big desk and some chairs. Director Gregory sat down and folded his hands. His dark eyes watched Vexilor closely. The bank manager's blue skin had turned almost white with fear. The moving parts on his face, what humans called face tentacles, were shaking. "Commander Washington," Gregory said in a calm voice, "please sit down and tell us about your loan request. I want to hear everything." Alicia took a seat across from the desk. She placed her computer pad down and turned it on. Charts and numbers appeared in the air above it. "Earth needs to build 6 new deep space ships," she explained. "Each one will carry 10,000 people to new planets. The trip will take 20 years. We have the plans and the people. We just need the money to make it happen." Director Pitel, one of the blue aliens, leaned forward. Her face tentacles moved with interest. 20 years? How will the humans survive such a long trip? "We have new sleep pods," Alicia said. "They keep people asleep but healthy for the whole trip. They were made by Dr. Keith Johnson at the Lagos Space Center on Earth. The pods can be used for other things too, like helping very sick people stay alive longer." The 3 directors looked at the charts floating above the desk. They showed the ships, the sleep pods, and how Earth would pay back the loan over 50 years. While they looked, Director Gregory spoke to Vexilor. "Manager Vexilor, I am very interested in why Commander Washington had to wait so long. 2 hours is a very long time for an important meeting like this." Vexilor's face tentacles drooped even more. "As I tried to explain, we had system problems, and—" "Stop," Director Zekra said sharply. She was the other blue alien. "We checked your computer records while walking to your office. There were no system problems today." Vexilor's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. "In fact," Director Gregory said, taking out his own computer pad, "I have some very interesting numbers here. In your bank branch, humans from Earth wait much longer than any other clients, and humans with dark skin wait the longest of all. How do you explain that?" The room went very quiet. Alicia kept her face calm, but inside, she felt a mix of anger and satisfaction. Someone had finally noticed the problem. That must be a mistake," Vexilor said weakly. "Numbers don't lie," Director Pitel said. "We have been watching all the bank branches. Yours is the worst for making humans wait." Director Gregory turned to Alicia. "Commander Washington, I want to apologize for how you were treated today. The Galactic Credit Union serves all people of all planets. We do not allow any kind of unfair treatment. Alicia nodded. Thank you, Director. I appreciate that. But right now, I'm more concerned about our loan. Earth needs these ships. We are falling behind other species in space travel. These ships will help us catch up. Of course, Gregory said. He looked at the charts again. These ships are very impressive. And these sleep pods, they are new. Technology. Yes, Alicia said. Dr. Johnson just made them last year. They use much less power than old sleep pods. And people wake up healthier, with no muscle loss. The three directors talked quietly among themselves for a few minutes. Then, Director Zekra turned to Alicia. We are interested in your loan request, she said. But we have a different idea. What if we don't just give a loan? What if we also invest in these sleep pods? They could help many species, not just humans. Alicia felt a surge of hope. This was more than she had expected. That would be very good for both sides. Earth gets the money it needs, and the bank gets part of a new technology that could be worth a lot. Exactly, Director Gregory said with a smile. Now let's talk numbers. For the next hour, they discussed how much money Earth needed and how the bank would be paid back. Vexilor sat in the corner, saying nothing unless asked a direct question. His earlier rudeness was gone, replaced by a quiet fear. As they talked, Alicia noticed that Director Gregory kept looking at her with respect. He listened to her ideas and asked good questions. The other two directors did the same. They treated her as an equal, something Vexilor had never done. I think we have a deal, Director Gregory said finally. Earth will get its loan for the ships and we will invest in the sleep pod technology. We'll need to meet again next week to sign all the papers. Where should we meet? Asked Director Patel. How about at the Earth Embassy? Gregory suggested. It would be good for us to see their operations. That would be fine, Alicia said. I'll make sure everything is ready for you. They all stood up. Director Zekra turned to Vexilor, who was still sitting in the corner. Manager Vexilor, please stay here. We need to have a private talk with you after everyone leaves. Vexilor's face tentacles went completely still, like he was frozen with fear. As they walked out of the office, Director Gregory spoke quietly to Alicia. Commander Washington, thank you for your patience today. What happened to you has been happening to too many people. We are going to make changes. Will Vexilor lose his job? Alicia asked. Gregory smiled slightly. Let's just say he won't be managing this branch much longer. We have a place for him on Pluto. It's very cold there. Very few clients. He'll have plenty of time to think about how to treat people better. They reached the main area of the bank. Other clients stared at them, surprised to see bank directors walking with a human. See you next week at the Earth Embassy, Gregory said, shaking Alicia's hand. And Commander, no more waiting 2 hours for meetings. That's a promise. As Alicia left the bank, she felt lighter. She had gotten more than she came for. Not just the loan Earth needed, but maybe a step toward better treatment for all humans in the outer planets. Her computer pad buzzed. It was Admiral Rivera again. How did it go? The message read. Alicia smiled as she typed her reply. Better than we could have hoped. I'll explain everything when I get back. Earth is going to the stars. 1 week later, Alicia stood in the main meeting room of the Earth Embassy on Europa Station. The room had large windows that looked out at Jupiter. The huge planet filled most of the view, its orange and white clouds swirling slowly. Alicia had spent the week preparing for this meeting. She had talked with Admiral Rivera and the other leaders back on Earth. They were all excited about the bank's offer, not just a loan, but also money to help make the sleep pods better. It was more than they had hoped for. Earth workers had cleaned the embassy and made it look its best. Fresh plants from Earth sat in pots around the room. The smell of real coffee filled the air. Alicia wanted the bank directors to feel welcome, but also to see that Earth people had their own nice things. They're here, said Lynn, Alicia's assistant. She was a young woman who helped run the embassy. The directors just passed through security. Alicia straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. Show them in. The door opened, and the 3 directors walked in. Director Gregory led the way, followed by Directors Zikra and Patel. They all looked around the room with interest. "Welcome to the Earth Embassy," Alicia said, stepping forward to shake their hands. "Thank you for coming." "Thank you for having us," Director Gregory said. "This is a nice change from our cold bank offices." They all sat down at the big table, in the middle of the room. Lynn brought coffee for Gregory and special drinks for the two alien directors. "Before we start," Director Patel said, "we want to tell you about some changes at the bank. Manager Vexilor has been moved to our Pluto branch as we mentioned last week. And," Director Zikra added, "we have picked a new manager for the Europa branch, someone who will treat all clients fairly." "That's good to hear," Alicia said. "Who is the new manager?" The door opened again and a young black woman walked in. She wore the neat uniform of the Galactic Credit Union. Her hair was in short, neat braids, and she had a friendly smile. "This is Nicole Barnes," Director Gregory said. "She was working at our Mars branch. She has been with the bank for 5 years and has an excellent record." Nicole stepped forward and shook Alicia's hand. "It's an honor to meet you, Commander Washington. I've heard good things about you from the directors." Alicia smiled. "Welcome to Europa Station. I look forward to working with you." "Nicole will be joining our meeting today," Director Gregory explained. "She needs to know all about the Earthships and the loan." They all sat down again, and Alicia began showing her plans on the big screen at the end of the room. She explained how the 6 ships would be built, how many people they would carry, and where they would go. "These 2 ships will go to the Tau Ceti system," she said, pointing to the screen. "These other 4 will go to different star systems. Each one has planets that humans can live on." "How do you know these planets are good for humans?" Director Patel asked. "We have sent small robot ships ahead," Alicia explained. "They took pictures and tested the air and soil. The planets are not perfect, but humans can change them to make them better for living." As they talked, Nicole Barnes took notes on her computer pad. Sometimes she asked smart questions about the plans. Alicia was impressed. The new manager clearly knew a lot about loans and space travel. "I have a suggestion," Nicole said during a break in the talk. "The loan plan is good, but I think we could make the payment schedule better. If Earth pays a little more in the first 10 years, we can lower the interest rate." Alicia looked at the numbers Nicole showed her. "That could work. Earth has more money now than it will in 20 years, when we are paying for the colony ships." The directors nodded in agreement. Director Gregory smiled at Nicole, clearly pleased with her ideas. They spent the next 2 hours going over every part of the plan. By the end, they had a loan agreement that was better for both Earth and the bank. "I think we're done," Director Gregory said at last. "This is a good deal for everyone. The bank gets to help Earth move to the stars, and we get to be part of this new sleep pod technology." They all signed the agreement on their computer pads. It was official now. Earth would get its money, and the ships would be built. After the signing, Lynn brought in food and drinks for a small celebration. As they stood around talking, Director Gregory came up to Alicia. "Commander Washington," he said quietly, "I want to thank you again for being patient that day at the bank. If you had walked out, we might never have known about the problems there." "I almost did walk out," Alicia admitted. "But the loan was too important." Gregory nodded. "Sometimes staying and facing problems leads to good things, like today." Across the room, Nicole was talking with the alien directors. She seemed comfortable with them, and they were listening to her with respect. "She's going to be a good manager," Alicia said, nodding toward Nicole. "Yes, she is," Gregory agreed. "And she's part of a bigger change at the bank. We're checking all our branches now, making sure everyone is treated fairly. No more 2-hour waits for anyone." After the directors left, Alicia stayed in the meeting room, looking out at Jupiter. The first of Earth's colony ships would be built right here at Europa Station. In 3 years, it would leave the solar system, carrying people to a new home among the stars. Her computer pad buzzed. It was a message from Admiral Rivera. "Just got the news. Great work, Commander. The first ship will be named UES Pioneer. They want you to lead the naming ceremony when construction starts next month." Alicia smiled. From a frustrating 2-hour wait to this moment, it had been quite a journey. And the real journey, to the stars, was just beginning. She turned away from the window and headed back to her office. There was much work to do, and now they had the money to do it. Humanity's next big step was about to start right here on Europa Station. 1 month later, the huge space dock near Europa Station buzzed with activity. Hundreds of workers in spacesuits moved around the frame of what would become the UES Pioneer. The ship was just a skeleton now, but it was already massive. When finished, it would be the biggest ship humans had ever built. Alicia stood on the viewing platform with Admiral Rivera. They watched as construction robots welded large metal pieces together. Bright lights flashed as the robots worked. "It's really happening," Admiral Rivera said. He was an older man with gray hair and a serious face, but today he was smiling. "Thanks to you, Commander Washington." "I just got the loan," Alicia said. "The builders are doing the hard work." "Don't be modest," the Admiral said. "If you had given up that day at the bank, we wouldn't be here now." The naming ceremony would start in 1 hour. Important people from Earth and other planets had come to watch. Even the bank directors were there, standing on another platform nearby. Alicia saw Nicole Barnes, the new bank manager, talking with Director Gregory. In the past month, Nicole had become a good friend to the Earth Embassy. She had helped make the money transfer smooth and had visited the construction site several times. "Commander Washington?" A worker floated up to the platform. "Everything is ready for the ceremony. We need you to check the naming plaque before it gets attached to the ship." Alicia followed the worker to a small room near the dock. Inside was a large metal plaque that would go on the front of the ship. It read, "UES Pioneer First Earth Deep Space Colony Ship launched from Europa Station destination, Tau Ceti. May all who travel on her find new horizons." "It looks perfect," Alicia said. "When will it be attached?" "During the ceremony," the worker explained. "You will press the button that sends it out to the ship. Robots will attach it while everyone watches." Alicia nodded. It was a simple job, but an important one. The name would stay with the ship for its whole life, including its 20-year journey to a new star. An hour later, everyone gathered in the main viewing area. There were about 200 people there. Most were human, but there were also visitors from other planets, including some blue-skinned Proximans like Vexilor. These ones, though, seemed happy to be there, talking and laughing with the humans. Admiral Rivera stepped up to the speaking area. "Welcome, everyone. Today we begin a new chapter in human history. The UES Pioneer will be the first of 6 ships that will take people to new homes around distant stars." He talked about how humans had always been explorers, from the first people who left Africa to those who sailed across oceans, and then those who first went to space. Now humans would go even further. And none of this would be happening without the help of the Galactic Credit Union, the Admiral continued. "They not only gave us the loan we needed, but also invested in our new sleep pod technology. Director Gregory, would you like to say a few words?" Director Gregory walked to the front. "The Galactic Credit Union is proud to be part of this historic project. We believe that all intelligent beings should have the chance to grow and explore. Earth has shown great courage in planning these long journeys." He paused and looked directly at Alicia. "And we have learned some important lessons ourselves recently, about treating all clients with the same respect, no matter what they look like or where they come from." When Gregory finished speaking, it was Alicia's turn. She stepped up and looked out at all the faces watching her. "The UES Pioneer will carry 10,000 people to a new home," she said. "They will sleep for most of the 20-year journey. When they wake up, they will start building a new colony on a planet that no human has ever stepped on before." She turned and looked at the huge ship frame behind her. "This ship is more than just metal and machines. It represents hope. Hope that humans will continue to grow and learn and explore. Hope that we will find new friends among the stars." Alicia pressed the button that would send the naming plaque out to the ship. On a big screen, everyone could see the robots take the plaque and begin attaching it to the front of the ship frame. "I name this ship UES Pioneer," Alicia said. "May she carry her passengers safely to their new home." Everyone clapped and cheered. It was a big moment for Earth, and everyone knew it. After the ceremony, there was food and drink for all the guests. Alicia found herself talking with Nicole Barnes and Director Gregory. "That was a nice speech," Nicole said. "Short, but meaningful." "Thanks," Alicia said. "I'm not really a speech person. I like action better than words." "Sometimes words lead to action," Director Gregory said. "Your words that day at the bank, when you stood up for yourself, led to big changes." Nicole nodded. "The bank has new rules now for all branches. All clients must be seen in the order they arrive, no matter what planet they're from or what they look like. And wait times are tracked and checked every day." "That's good to hear," Alicia said. "And there's more," Gregory added. "The bank is planning to hire more humans, especially for branches in human areas like Europa Station. Nicole is just the first." Alicia looked around the room. Humans and aliens were talking together, sharing food and ideas. This was how it should be. Different beings working together, learning from each other. Her computer pad buzzed. It was a message from Dr. Keith Johnson, the man who had created the sleep pods. "Just got the news. The bank's investment is making a big difference. We've already improved the pods by 15%. I think we can make them even better before the ships launch." Alicia smiled. Everything was moving forward. The ships were being built. The sleep pods were getting better. And here on Europa Station, things were changing for the better, too. She looked out the window at the ship frame, now proudly bearing its name, UES Pioneer. Soon it would be a real ship, taking people to the stars. And Alicia had helped make it happen. 3 years passed quickly. The UES Pioneer had grown from a metal frame to a complete ship. It was huge, almost a mile long and shaped like an arrow. Its white hull gleamed in the light from distant Jupiter. Today was launch day. The ship would leave Europa Station and begin its long journey to the Tau Ceti star system. 10,000 people were already on board, sleeping in their pods. They would wake up in 20 years, ready to start a new life on a new planet. Alicia stood at the main window of Europa Station's control room. She had changed in the past 3 years. She was now Admiral Washington in charge of all 6 colony ships. Her hair had a few gray streaks now, but her eyes still had the same strong look. 10 minutes to launch, said the control room officer. Alicia nodded. Everything was ready. The ship had been checked and double-checked. All systems worked perfectly. The sleep pods had been improved, just as Dr. Johnson had promised. The people inside them would sleep safely for the whole trip. "Admiral Washington?" A voice came from behind her. "May I join you?" It was Nicole Barnes. She was still the manager of the Galactic Credit Union's Europa branch, but she had also become the head of the bank's new Human Relations Department. Her job was to make sure that all branches treated humans fairly. "Of course, Nicole," Alicia said. "I'm glad you could be here for the launch." They stood side by side watching the ship. Workers in small space pods were doing final checks on the outside of the Pioneer. "It's hard to believe it's been 3 years since the naming ceremony," Nicole said. "3 years since you helped us improve the loan terms," Alicia replied with a smile. "That saved Earth a lot of money." "The bank has made good money too," Nicole said. "The sleep pod technology is now used in hospitals all over the galaxy. It saves lives every day." The control room was full of important people. Admiral Rivera was there, older now but still strong. Director Gregory had come too, representing the Galactic Credit Union. Even some government leaders from Earth had made the journey to Europa Station to see the launch. 5 minutes to launch, the officer announced. Alicia thought about how much had changed. Not just the ship and the sleep pods, but also how humans were treated in the outer planets. The changes at the bank had spread to other places. Humans, including those with dark skin, were now treated with more respect in most places. "Have you heard about Vexilor?" Nicole asked quietly. "The old bank manager?" "No, not for a long time," Alicia said. "Is he still on Pluto?" Nicole shook her head. "No. He asked to be transferred to a branch on Earth in Africa. He said he wanted to learn about human culture." Alicia raised her eyebrows in surprise. "Really? That's unexpected." "He's changed a lot, they say," Nicole continued. He works with human clients every day now and has become quite good at it. He even apologized to the bank board for his past behavior. 2 minutes to launch, came the announcement. The room grew quiet. Everyone watched the big screens that showed different views of the ship. Launch controllers spoke quietly into their headsets, checking final systems. You know, Nicole said softly, none of this would have happened if you had walked out that day. If you hadn't waited those 2 hours. Alicia nodded. Sometimes small things lead to big changes. One person standing firm can make a difference. 1 minute to launch. On the screen, the ship's engines began to glow with a soft blue light. The Pioneer would use special engines that bent space itself, allowing it to travel faster than light once it was away from Jupiter. 30 seconds. Alicia felt her heart beat faster. This was the moment they had all worked for. The first human ship to leave the solar system for another star. 10 seconds, 9, 8. Everyone in the control room counted down together. 3, 2, 1. Launch! The blue glow from the engines grew brighter. Slowly at first, then faster, the huge ship began to move away from Europa Station. It would take several hours to reach a safe distance from Jupiter. Then the main engines would turn on and the Pioneer would leap toward the stars. Everyone in the control room cheered and clapped. Some people hugged each other, others had tears in their eyes. It was a historic moment for all humans. She's on her way, Admiral, Rivera said, coming to stand beside Alicia. The first of 6. The other 5 will follow in the next 2 years. Alicia nodded. And humanity will have colonies around 6 different stars. After the launch, there was a celebration in the main hall of Europa Station. People ate and drank and talked about the future. Alicia found herself standing with Director Gregory, who had aged well for a human. His hair was white now, but he stood tall and strong. I'm retiring next month, he told her. 30 years with the bank is enough. Who will take your place? Alicia asked. Gregory smiled. The board has chosen Nicole Barnes. She'll be the first human to serve on the board of directors. Alicia smiled back. That's wonderful news. She deserves it. The bank has changed, Gregory said. For the better, I think. We serve all people now, truly. Later that night, when the party was over, Alicia went back to the viewing window. The Adair Pioneer was just a tiny dot of light now, moving away from Jupiter. Soon it would be gone from sight, though tracking systems would follow it for years. Her computer pad buzzed. It was a message from Dr. Johnson. The sleep pods are all working. Perfectly. Everyone on board is sleeping safely. Their journey has begun. Alicia looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there was Tau Ceti, where the Pioneer was headed. In 20 years, humans would build a new home there. And it had all started with a 2-hour wait in a bank and the courage to stand up for fair treatment. She thought about all the changes that had come from that day. The loan for the ships, the investment in the sleep pods, the new rules at the bank, Nicole's rise to the board of directors, even Vexler learning to change his ways. Small actions could lead to big changes. One person could make a difference. Alicia turned to leave. She saw her reflection in the window glass. Behind her reflection were the stars, countless points of light where humanity might one day go. The journey was just beginning.